Thank you, Leonie, for the introduction here. Good afternoon, everyone. I may have conversed with some of you earlier today at the stall, and I must say it has been a very good day with a lot of good discussions. But for the rest of you, if you have not met, I'm Nishanth Koushik, and I'm proud to be representing ALDI Süd on this keynote stage today. In the time allotted to me, I hope to maybe give you a small snippet of our super cool IT and business transformation that's ongoing in ALDI. Tell you a little bit about our fully integrated and mostly automated template that allows us to leverage from our technology-based optimizations. And also then moving to the less geeky part, maybe to tell a little bit about the opportunities we have at ALDI Süd, the benefits we provide. Yeah, basically I'm here to brag about ALDI. Yeah, so we have allotted time for question and answers, but yeah, if you have questions already during the presentation, I'm happy to answer them, but yeah, we can also do this after the presentation. All right, so this is the first topic that I have, introduction to the demand to fulfillment process at ALDI Süd. So firstly, let's maybe quickly understand what is demand to fulfillment. So everything that happens in between determining what demand we should send to each store to the point when we actually physically replenish our stores. So this process is called demand to fulfillment. So in a nutshell, working backwards from the demand that we need at the store, we run a series of optimizations across multiple business areas to basically replenish our stores with the right quantity and preferably just in time. Of course, there are other such processes as well, like you see on the screen, the order to cash, for example, or purchase to pay. We will not be talking about that today, but yeah, so we have other end-to-end processes that we'll not be discussing today. Today we'll only be discussing demand to fulfillment. So what's all the fuss about this process and why is it so important? So to give you a bit of a background story, so every day when customers go into the ALDI store and they buy whatever they need, we end up at whatever stock at our store at the end of the day. Yeah, and by the time, so our stores usually close at 9 p.m. and by the time the store opens at 8 in the morning, we need to replenish the entire store with the correct order, correct quantity. We need to take care of the costs, and we have all the optimization problems. So maybe let's go through with the process, and maybe some of you will follow me. So first, to know what we need at the store next morning, we first need to know what the store has and what the store sold, right? So with these two information, I can now know, okay, what is missing. So now this is done in an application called SAP CAR, or Customer Activity Repository, which basically tracks the sales, and then at the end of the store closing, we have a stock value at our store. Now this stock value is along with the additional factors, like maybe the following day is a weekend or it's Christmas Day, yeah, and usually the sales are skyrocketing on this day, so we have demand influences. So we take care of this and we forecast the demand here. And this is done in an application called SAP FNR, or Forecasting and Replenishment. So the stock transfer orders are then created based off the forecast that this application has made. So the stock transfer orders are created, and yeah, so these orders are of course sent to our DCs, our distribution centers, and also to our transportation planners, because at the end of the day they need to plan a truck from our DC to bring the stock to our store. Now, when the orders are created, there is something that happens in another system called transportation management system. That's where I belong and I work. So in transportation management, we start to build. So we have a transportation request coming from our S4 HANA system where we created our orders. So let's say 25 cartons of article XYZ. Yeah. So now if I have to put this on a pallet, so there are certain rules and configurations that are set up to make sure that the article is put on the right pallet, considering all the incompatibilities. Maybe a certain product, a detergent, shouldn't go with food, or these incompatibilities have to be considered, and the pallet has to be first of all built. So once this pallet is built, we run something called an optimizer in our transport management system, which makes sure that all of these pallets, so let's say 2,000 pallets needs to be dispatched from the distribution center today, all of these 2,000 pallets are put into route optimized, schedule optimized trucks, which is automatically planned by the system. So the system will just tell me, okay, these 2,000 pallets will go in these 30 trucks. And that's the planning result we get from TM. So once we have the planning from the TM, one more crucial part. So just because S4 system said, okay, now I need to transport these to the store, and just because TM said, okay, do it in this truck, we still are not 100% sure if this stock is available in the DC. So we need to do something called an available to promise check. Yeah. So in this check, we are basically checking if the transportation request or what we want to transport is actually available in the DC as a dispatchable goods. Sometimes there are damages, sometimes maybe we are expecting returns, but it's not yet there. So maybe sometimes the stock discrepancies can mean that we from transportation can plan something, but warehouse is not able to pick this. So we do all these validations, and then finally we arrive at these freight orders, which are basically then trucks. So once the TM system or the transport management system plans these trucks, we send it then to the warehouse management system, our Manhattan warehouse management system, where the picking tasks are created for our warehouse employees. They go pick these things, put it on the pallet, and then the actual execution takes place. So this end-to-end integration template is very special, mainly because maybe I didn't mention, most of this process is automated right from the time our store is closing and our forecasts are in to actually us sending stuff back into the store. Most of this process is automated. The only places where we bring in the human touch or to actually review something, to validate the plans that are made, this is the only thing that we take care of. But it is truly amazing to see from the time the store closes to the time the store is opening, the number of processes that is taken care of because of the help of our technology optimization. So speaking a little bit, I think I already covered this, so I'll just speed up here. So order forecasts, like I said, this is done in SAP forecasting and replenishment. So we consider micro forecasting. So these are attributes that are very unique to a product. Yeah, so these are those factors. Demand influence, like I said, weekend, Christmas Day, long holiday or long weekend. So these are the factors that actually affect our sales and hence should affect our forecast. Then the calibration, so that is, our model also needs to be adjusted and improved all the time. So that's the calibration part. Dynamic safety is, I think, to put it in plain supply chain terms, it is to be cognizant of the forecast accuracy and bias. So how confident are we about our forecast and how much variable is our forecast going to be. So that's what we do here. And then we finally calculate the demand that needs to be sent to the store, the replenishment that needs to go into the store. So Order optimization, again, so there may be some human intervention is there to maybe add certain orders. If you foresee that there is going to be a bigger demand next week, we already try to send some additional stuff during the week. So those kind of adjustments are happening in order optimization. And final result is creation of our orders. So now, diving deep a little bit into the TM or transportation management part, these are the factors that we consider in our automated TM planning, which is basically product availability and due times. I told you about availability to available to promise check, ATP check. That is also actually talking about this, because at the end of the day, we need the product to be available, and we need to know by when this needs to be delivered into the DC. To the store. So the store receiving, so the store hours, the working time of the stores, the working time of the distribution centers, our suppliers in some case, loading and unloading durations. So sometimes we need to restrict our distribution centers to say we will only process frozen goods in this hour, and then comes the chilled goods. So we need to actually consider these things when we do the optimizer planning in transport management. We of course consider driving distances and duration, because at least in some countries like Germany, there are very strict driver laws that they are not allowed to drive more than 9 hours, which means it is really, we need to restrict the number of stops, the number of kilometers that this overall route plan is making. Even though there is probably more space in the truck, sometimes we cannot fill up everything because driver cannot make, I don't know, 15 or 20 stops. Yeah, so the vehicle and the store attributes is again something we need to consider. Maybe if I have to give you one simple example, imagine some of the ALDI stores in Altstadt. Yeah, in old towns, the big trucks can't go there. So we need to plan them on smaller truck and trailer resources, smaller pickup trucks. So that is exactly what is being considered. And of course, the planning costs. What is the cheapest way to transport? So that is, of course, one of the factors we consider. Coming a little bit to the overall benefits of doing this. So basically, it is, like I already explained, it's a seamless order processing, ordering process. So our replenishment is what defines our success in the business, and then that is happening effectively, efficiently within the supply chain. We have real-time information in our systems at any given time about the in-transit stock, or the stock that is sitting in the DC or at the store. Most important benefit, in my opinion, is the third point there, the increased order accuracy and demand-driven replenishment. So I think historically, if you can imagine, we would just send anything to the store that we have in our DC to the store in the hope that we sold it. Yeah, and now we are turning the tables to say that actually we are going to forecast based on what the customers bought yesterday, what they bought last year, the same day, the last month. We are bringing really the technology to make these decisions for us, and that is really allowing us to be demand driven in our stores. Automated ordering, orders are created. I think if you ask anybody in this business, creating orders is probably painful, because you need hundreds of them, thousands of them, and for a human being to be doing that is waste of resources. So that's happening automatically. We have a very systematic and economical way of planning our transport through the optimizer. Yeah, and it overall helps us build better relationships with our suppliers and truck companies, because everything is clear to everyone. So now I'll move on to the less technical part. That was about the ALDI demand to fulfillment process. So like I said before, my goal of this talk is also to convince some of you bright minds to consider ALDI as a prospective employer. Because we are doing great work and also working on really relevant technologies at the moment, and also provide great benefits. But these are the list of open positions in but just in supply chain and logistics division. But if you go to the ALDI job page, which I will come to in a couple of slides, you are going to find a lot more positions all across the organization. So these are some of the benefits we offer. Attractive salaries, very structured onboarding and trainings. We give 30 vacation days, partial mobile working, almost 3 to 4 days a week we work from home. And we provide other corporate benefits. But to me, the most important reason to be part of ALDI is because we are part of very high-value international projects with cutting-edge technologies at the moment. So that's the sales pitch to you to consider ALDI. So this is our contact information. So that's our job page. If you will find a lot more positions than what you saw in the previous slide under that page. And if you have any questions regarding the recruitment process, you can always reach out to our HR partners, and they will be more than happy to help you. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have a question? I can come to you. You can also come to me, but I don't think that would make much sense. If you don't, I get it if you're a little bit careful and a little bit shy. I also have some question to ask. And that would be maybe, what do you love most about working at ALDI?
I mean, there's a lot to love about ALDI, but to me, the energy to always stay ahead of the competition and to the way we strive for the business success of our countries, US, Australia, Britain, any country, we are always striving to make sure that they are successful in their business, and that is phenomenal to see. And the best part of my job is I get to work with a high-performing international team. I'm constantly working with different customers. That's my different ALDI countries. And how does that benefit me? One, I get to understand the business intricacies of each of these countries. At the same time, I can strive to work for creating a common solution for all of them, making process harmonizations. And most importantly, I think it helps my social skills, because you don't believe how different each culture is. And in literally from 1 hour to the other, when I switch meetings, I need to switch my approach. I need to either put out a smile or a serious face, and that is something that is a lot of fun about my job.
And you learn a lot probably about all these countries and all these cultures. I always love to talk about a little bit of the maybe problems or challenges you've had in your role so far, and especially what you've learned out of them.
So the DILO process that we just spoke about. So DILO is, by the way, day in life of our replenishment operations. So that to me is the biggest challenge, because the DILO process involves many processes happening in different geographies to be orchestrated in a perfect order. The forecast needs to happen in one office location, then the orders need to be created, the warehouse is doing something. So all the activities have to come together every day, because our stores need to be replenished every day. So every 24 hours, we run a marathon to make this work and for the stocks to arrive at our stores. So, and sometimes even multiple times a day. In a busy day, maybe we are replenishing our stores 2 times. So it's a lot of pressure sometimes, because if our big IT architecture that we have, if it fails, then that means we can't proceed with our planning, and which means we might run empty in our shelves, which we cannot afford. So the most challenging part of my job is to make sure all of this is up and running all the time. And it's also fun, but sometimes it is going to be a high pressure. But that DILO process is our nervousness.
If I was a person that wanted to be part of ALDI right now, how would that process be like? What would I do? What should I do? What is suggested? How is the hiring process at ALDI?
So all you need to do is apply. We don't need a cover letter. We just need your CV, your last certificate. It could be a job. It could be an education. Doesn't matter, the last achievement, plus any other relevant documents you feel, transcripts or whatever you feel is relevant for the application. Send it over to us. Then the HR partners will usually review the profile. If it's interesting, they will discuss it with the hiring managers. Generally there is no fixed set of interviews that we always do 5 or always do 6. It is very, very case dependent. Only thing that is mandatory is 1 HR round of interview and 1 round of interview on site in our head office. But otherwise, sometimes it is just 2 interviews, sometimes 3. But yeah, so and also one more thing different I saw, at least when I joined ALDI and when I was recruited into ALDI, is that the transparency and the speed of the decision, right? So we don't have to wait for weeks and months between the interview rounds. It's usually in 1 or 2 days you have a feedback, a positive or a negative one. So we are very fast in making decisions in this regard. And yeah, you should just apply. And if you are applying, you also mentioned in the comment section that you met with us today in this event, and maybe we have a reference point about you already. Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you have any other questions to him, to ALDI in general, you're going to step off the stage and you can just go up to him and ask all the questions you have. And also at the after party, I bet there are a few employees of ALDI there, which is leading me to the next point of the day. It is the after party. So just go, I think it's right there. Have fun, go have a drink, connect, talk to people and network. And thank you for being here today and joining me on the stage.
Thank you.